Hello everyone, my name is Kieran. Welcome to another Manchester United live stream. Tonight, of course, we're going to be previewing the match on the weekend, Man United, as they take on Fulham in the Premier League. And this one, we're not in the best of form coming into it, but I'm still very excited for the match. 3 PM kickoff, which we don't get too often these days. Welcome to everyone who has just joined. Welcome to Ethan and the Tactical Show. Please do leave a like, guys, if you haven't already. And also, if you are watching this as a video, please feel free to comment your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also, before we get into it, make sure you go check out Fan Vibe as well if you haven't already. Fan Vibe, the kind of football and sports social messaging site where you can post your own views and things like that, interact with other sports fans, and it's a great little app, a website you can have, and I really recommend it. Go and check out the link in the description down below, and I really would recommend that. Welcome Sickball and Tom, welcome to the stream, thanks for joining, and as I said, guys, please do leave a like if you haven't already. But in this stream I'll be giving you my thoughts on the game, going through all the news that's been happening, including a bit of news on Jose Mourinho's part as well, and taking you through my predicted lineup for the game, as well as my score predictions. Of course, as I'm saying this, you guys can, give me your thoughts on the game going into it as we go through, and I'll try and read out all of your comments as usual. But thank you to everyone who has just joined me. But let's start with the visitors, Fulham. Now, they're not in a good place at the moment. Obviously, Claudio Ranieri has taken the role over at Fulham, and the Tinkerman himself has got a lot of experience in the Premier League, and I think he will be a very, very good fit for Fulham. Last time out, they did get a draw in his last game, and I think they have got some decent players. If you look at their notable additions to the squad, Jean-Michel Serri, who was highly rated by a lot of clubs in Europe, especially Arsenal, before Fulham were able to take him into their squad, and also Old Trafford, who's had a lot of experience in the Premier League already, so he'll be a huge asset to them, as well as some of the other players. You got Ryan Sessegnon, who again was highly rated, so they've got some really, really decent players in that squad who, on their day, under the right manager, if they start gelling together and start playing, and if they come at us, they could really cause us problems. And at the moment, I think they're kind of in the depths of they're in the depths of despair at the bottom of the table, and they've got a lot to work on. They've got a lot to improve on if they are going to stay up this season. Personally, I think with Claudio Ranieri at the helm, they will stay up, and I think they are a force to be reckoned with. So we have to stay careful and be, But we have to be on top of our game. Yes, that is very, very difficult to ask, really, with our poor performances as of late. But we need to be on top of our game if we are going to beat Fulham. They're no kind of pushovers, I would say. Patrick, welcome to the stream, Patrick. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. He says, good evening, mate. Couldn't catch your last couple streams. Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for joining, Patrick. No worries whatsoever. Happy you're here and happy you are enjoying the stream. Welcome Man United fans down as well. And welcome the Football Crew Show. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. Good evening to you, sir. He says, what's your thoughts on Jorge Mendes' statement on Jose Mourinho's future at the club? Well, there are a few Man United news bits where, I guess once you've mentioned it there, you brought it up, so we may as well get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about, you brought up there is Jorge Mendes, his comments. Obviously, Jose Mourinho's agent, for any of you who don't know who he is, made comments about Jose Mourinho's future, saying that Jose Mourinho is happy at Manchester United at the moment. So, I guess it puts the rumours to bed that Jose Mourinho is looking to get the sack from Manchester United. Some people are saying due to the poor performances and his crazy team selections at times, it's showing that he actually wants a sack from Manchester United, because let's not forget, he does get around, what, 20 million payoff if we do have to sack him. So that's, that is kind of why people are suggesting that he might not want to be at the club, and he might want to be trying to, play for a move away almost. I'm not sure if you can really do that as a manager, but that's seemingly what some of the people are reporting that he wants to do. Welcome Asian Gamer, by the way, welcome to the stream, thanks for joining. But yeah, I think, Jorge Mendes probably knows Jose Mourinho quite a lot. He probably knows, so I would trust him. I would trust him. But obviously, you guys can leave your thoughts on his statement as well in the live chat. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Get your voice heard as usual. And the second thing I want to talk about as well is the rumours that were brought about by the presenter of Sunday Supplement, I do believe, that Man United are willing to spend £40 million to buy Pochettino out of Spurs to replace Jose Mourinho. Now, I'm not sure how much to believe this guy. I'm not too aware of any of his previous work, or whether he's got predictions right in the past and stuff. But he is reporting that we are willing to pay £40 million to buy Pochettino out of his contract at Spurs to bring him in to Manchester United. Now, obviously, I've heard a lot of people on here and on the Man United community in general, say that Pochettino would be a really good replacement for Jose Mourinho. For me, I think he'd be decent. He's shown he's good with the youth players, and he's seem to be doing well on a tight budget, and I think at Manchester United he'd definitely be given more money by the board. But I'm not too sure, just the fact he hasn't really won anything, and he's not really a proven winner. And maybe I'm just being naive because we thought we were getting that with Mourinho, and we haven't really seen that in the past 3 seasons. But I'm just a bit worried with Pochettino that we might become a bottler club. I'm not sure what you guys have to say. Would you take Pochettino as a replacement for Jose Mourinho? Leave your thoughts in the live chat. But those are the kind of 2 major news stories that have come out of today from Manchester United and from Jose Mourinho's press conference. So please do leave your thoughts on them. And welcome Eskills and welcome Yash. Welcome to the stream, guys. Thanks for joining. Please do leave a like if you aren't already. Yep, 500 subs before Christmas. Since you brought it up, Asian Gamer, we are trying to hit 500 subs by Christmas or New Year. So anything you guys can do to help us out would be absolutely fantastic. Whether that's, recommending a channel to your friends, or sharing the channel, or subscribing yourself, that'll be absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much for all support. Ricky says, the Glazers should have never agreed to giving them 20 million if he got the sack, when they're hesitating to make the decision now that they need to get rid of him. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. I think that's the thing. Once you kind of set a price, once you set a price on it, it makes difficulties. I agree with you, Ricky. So, yeah, I think they probably should have just kept that one quiet, to be honest. And yeah, I think for me as well, I do agree that kind of dilly-dallying over it, I wish there'd just be either fully Jose Mourinho in, or just get rid of him, because there's no point in a board who keeps a manager but doesn't fully back him. If you're going to keep the manager, you have to back him, and I haven't seen that from the board, really. Yeah, she says Spurs won't sell Pochettino to United at all. Let's forget it and move on. I think there's a lot of truth in that. I think, it'd be very, very difficult. We'd have to kind of buy him out of his contract, but also he would have to accept to it as well. And I'm not sure if Pochettino, seeing the way the club's going, would want to take over at Manchester United. I'm not sure. I don't think he'd be the club for him, but then again, he might want to take on the challenge. And the Football Crew Show said, if Poch did become United manager, would you like to see Harry Kane be his first signing? I mean, it would be a decent first signing. I don't think it'll happen, to be honest. I think, we'll keep Lukaku. I'm not sure if Harry Kane would want to move to Manchester United. I feel like he's someone who wants to become a Spurs legend, and that's fair enough for him. I'm not sure how many trophies he's going to win, mind you, but I think he is someone who wants to become a Spurs legend, so I don't think Harry Kane would want to move. But I would like to potentially see him bring someone like Toby Alderweireld with him, or, some decent defenders or midfield players, because that's what we need to focus on. Our forward options are actually alright if you give them the freedom, but our defence is very, very shaky, but there you go. Yash says, there was one bad news of Fred. Until defence is good, he won't play. I did see that, Yash, actually, and it's very good that you brought that up. Obviously, Jose Mourinho, in his press conference, said he can't play Fred because our defence is too shaky, and it's not good enough to be able to play Fred. And we have to play players like Matic and Fellaini to kind of stay in front of the defence and protect them, which, I mean, I'm not sure how much I agree with that, to be honest. I'm not sure how much you guys agree with that, to be honest, but I just think, why? Especially against the smaller teams. Maybe if you're playing like Man City or Chelsea, then I can agree with you. But when you're playing the smaller teams, you want to have a bit of dynamism in the midfield. And I think Fred, especially against Fulham, would be a brilliant midfield option. He can link the play. He could really cause some problems, make their midfielders work hard. I think it's foolproof. But to be honest with you, and you'll see it in my predicted 11, I have not put Fred in there because I don't think, that's going to happen. Dazza, welcome to stream. Dazza, thanks for joining. By the way, guys, let's all, you know, support Dazza. Obviously, he's going through a bit of a tough time with his tonsillitis at the moment. So, you know, from me, that I hope you do get better, Dazza. I hope you do get better, and hopefully you do get better, and your voice heals, and yeah, hopefully you're feeling all right in no time. So yeah, thanks for joining, Dazza. Really appreciate it. And you can go and check out his channel in the link in the description down below as well, and including Matthew Jones, who is one part of the duo United Fan Focus. Go and check out United Fan Focus as well in the description down below. Ricky says, what a bunch of nonsense. He plays Matic every week, who is absolute crap. Fred wouldn't make the defence any worse, and would add a more attacking threat from midfield. Well, Ricky, I totally agree with you, mate. I totally agree with what you're saying, but unfortunately, you know, Jose Mourinho just can't get that message through his head. I don't understand it. I think Matic, for the past kind of 2 months, has been really, really poor, and I don't understand why he keeps persisting with him. And I guess it's because he feels like the defence isn't good enough. But for me, you know, the reason why we concede so many goals is because we're so slow in midfield, and we don't, you know, the kind of interplay, the quick passing is so hard to defend. But when you've got Matic and Fellaini in the midfield, there's never any quick interplay. So maybe if we put Fred in there instead of Matic, we wouldn't be having those problems. But there we go. Patrick said, one thing to remember, when Jose bought the players he wanted in the first season, like Zlatan and Pogba, he won 3 trophies. Very true. You know, obviously, you know, when Zlatan Ibrahimovic came in, you know, he was an absolutely inspired signing, Ibrahimovic, and actually, I think we do miss him a bit now. You know, someone who's very, very clinical in front of goal, especially at that age. He did really, really well, and obviously scored the winning goal in the Capital One Cup final as well. Paul Pogba, there's a bit of kind of cloudiness as to whether that was really his signing. I think the Paul Pogba deal was in the making before Mourinho came to the club, so I'm not sure how much Pogba was a Mourinho signing. Technically, he goes under the Mourinho signings, but I don't think he really was. But still, I think Pogba in his first season didn't do too badly whatsoever, to be honest. Ricky says, I'm sure we've already conceded more goals in the league this season than the entire of last season. Yeah, I think we conceded like 20-something goals last season. We had a really, really solid defence, and it's just gone array. I don't understand it whatsoever. Welcome, Rashford. Don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry. No one's ever late on this channel. No one is ever late. Don't worry about it, guys. You know, honestly, the fact you're here anyway just really pleases me, so thank you so much for joining, Rashford. Really appreciate it. Dazza says Matic can go, he's cack. Totally agree, mate. Totally agree. I don't see what he adds to the team. Yash says, if we go 2-0 down like Newcastle and Southampton, I don't think we'll come back. Claudio knows how to sharp shop. Claudio Ranieri is honestly, yeah, he's a brilliant, brilliant manager. There's no doubt about that. He knows the Premier League inside out. He won the Premier League title with Leicester City, let's not forget. He knows what he's about. He knows the tactics. And I think he'll have a big, big plan to get at least a point off us at Old Trafford. And I would not be surprised, guys, if this game is very, very uncomfortable. I would not be surprised whatsoever. Rashford says, as I said, if you want top 4, we have to beat those from the top 4 better than waiting for small teams to beat them. Exactly, exactly. And that's why the Arsenal game was such a big missed opportunity for me, because, you know, I think we could have won that game. We could have nicked that game. And we had a few chances to do so. Our passing in the final third just wasn't up to standard. And if it was, I reckon we could have nicked it. But unfortunately, we you know, did stupid errors at the back, and yeah, it was our own undoing. But I think we really could have won that game, and it would have been, you know, if we actually beaten Arsenal, we would have been 5 points off top 4, and we would have been in a little bit of a better situation. But currently, we're still 8 points off top 4, and I think even if we win, I don't think that gap's going to be closed. So, I mean, the only gap that's going to be closed is the gap between Man City and Chelsea potentially, if you know, if obviously we do get the 3 points, because Man City and Chelsea are playing each other in the 5:30 kickoff, I think. Patrick, yeah, I agree, mate. Ricky says Zlatan's free kick in the final was absolute beauty. It was, mate. It was a brilliant moment. It was probably one of the best moments of that season, to be honest. And, you know, it just shows he's still got the quality. Age is but a number for Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And, you know, fair play to him. And he's killing it as well in the MLS as well. So, congratulations to him. Dazza says, any call tonight, my voice is okay to speak, but I won't be as loud as usual, up to you. I probably won't be taking any calls. I'm having a bit of trouble with the software, Daryl, but thank you very much. As you know, Daryl, I would love to have you on if I could, but thank you very much for offering, of course, and hopefully your voice gets better as well. But yeah, I won't be taking any calls tonight, so I do apologise about that. Hopefully we can get it up and running for the review tomorrow night as well. Yash says, I don't have any hope for top 4 this season. It's done. I mean, I said it in my last in my last review. And guys, as well, if you click on the I button on this stream, click on the I button, and you'll be able to. It'll link you to my last review, the Arsenal review, and if you guys haven't already checked it out, hit the I button, click on it, and give it a watch if you haven't already. Those are my thoughts on the Arsenal game. Ricky says, crazy to think despite how crap our season has been, we would have been 1 point off 4th if we'd been Crystal Palace, Southampton and Arsenal. I know, it's ridiculous though, these small margins, and it seems like this season, when we've got the opportunity to kind of close the gap, we've always fucked it up. We've always messed it up. We've always messed it up. Southampton, again, we should have won that game. Crystal Palace, ridiculous how the game was drawn 0-0. And you go back to previous games as well, losing to Brighton, drawing to Wolves. These sort of games are our opportunity. So it's really unfortunate, but it's our own doing, isn't it? It's our own doing in the end of the day. Rashford says, Kieran, just see against Spurs, 3-0 against Chelsea, City 3-1, Arsenal 2-2, and we said top 4. Well, exactly. I mean, look, I don't think we can get top 4 this season. As you saw in in one of my previous reviews, I did think that top 4 is gone, and I sincerely believe that unfortunately top 4 is gone for us. An 8-point gap at this stage of the season is going to take an absolute miracle, and we need to start winning these big games. And I think if we'd beaten Arsenal, I would have had a bit of hope, but to get the draw was as good as a loss, to be honest. Matthew, yeah, I do apologise, Matthew. I would love to have you on, as you know, but unfortunately the software isn't working, the Skype isn't working. I do apologise about that, guys, but obviously I'll try and get that working for the review tomorrow. But thank you very much for offering, Matthew. Appreciate it, mate. Dazza says, by the way, I'm at a concert tomorrow, so no vlog for the Borough game, and I won't be able to call in, sadly, Kieran. Oh, no worries, mate, no worries. No worries about that, Daryl. Yeah, says, Fulham have a strong striker in Mitrovic. He'll be difficult to handle. Yeah, I completely forgot Mitrovic as well. He's another one of the additions to the Fulham side. He looks really, really good. I mean, kind of in the last month, he had a really, really good month of form. So, we have to be wary of him. He's definitely going to be a huge aerial threat in there. So, yeah, and it's going to be tough for our defence to handle. Patrick says, Sanchez is not useless. The current system he plays under is. I think, potentially, there's something to that. I think, Sanchez, I'm not sure if he's getting the freedom that he got at Arsenal, as well as he's not really playing around the same sort of players that he did as Arsenal, to be fair. I think at Arsenal he was given a lot more freedom. He played in a team which was based around slow possession play. In this team it's based around long ball football, which is definitely not Sanchez's forte. So I think in some ways we can cut him a bit of slack in that way. So I do see where you're coming from, Patrick. Rashford says we should have signed 2 good players like Perisic and Maguire for the cost of Sanchez, but it already passed. Yeah, I think Ivan Perisic is definitely the player that Jose Mourinho wanted to bring in, and he didn't want to bring in Alexis Sanchez. In my opinion, I don't think he wanted to bring in Sanchez. I think he wanted to bring in Ivan Perisic, and to be honest with you, in hindsight, I think Perisic would have been the better deal for us. So there you go. I feel like Perisic probably would have been producing much better play and probably would have fit our system a lot better, because it's based a lot on crossing, and to have someone like Lukaku in the box with the service that Ivan Perisic provides, I think that'd be a brilliant little system. Yeah, we did give them Mkhitaryan. I mean, to be fair, he nearly scored against us if it wasn't for the offside flag. Yeah, says Martial looks injured. He didn't pick. He wasn't pictured in the hotel today. Yeah, I mean, it would be unfortunate, because I think Martial, he probably would score in a game like this. And I mean, obviously, he seems to be in form at the moment. So it'd be good, whenever we can start him, the better, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if he's going to play now. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I will give you my predicted lineup in just a second as well, because there's a few interesting ones in there. But yeah, I'm not sure if Martial's going to play. I hope he can be in the squad, because I think he'd be a real asset to us, especially against the Fulham side, who probably will be very, very compact in defence. You need the skillful players, the players who can unlock defences, produce brilliance to get past. So I would hope that Martial is available to play. Rashford says, bro, the only friend Sanchez just have in the squad is Mata, De Gea and Lukaku. He must leave. I mean, I'm not sure if that's just what the press are reporting or like, you know, what you can see in kind of photos and things like that. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure what happens at training because you don't really see the full story. So I don't really want to kind of comment on that situation without seeing the full story, if you know what I mean. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, still though. I mean, I feel like even though you don't have that much friends at a club, it doesn't mean, you know, it doesn't give you license not to perform well, in my opinion. But there you go. But as I said, guys, you know, please leave a like if you haven't already as well. Also, we're trying to get to 500 subscribers. Only 25 subscribers away from 500 subscribers on the channel before the end of the year. That'll be absolutely monumental. So as I said, anything you guys can do to help the channel, whether that's sharing, liking, all that sort of stuff, I really, really would appreciate it. So thank you so much. Man United Fans TV, you on the stream, mate. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. He goes with a 5-2 United win. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I think we should not be expecting a goal fest from this game, especially looking at our last few games. Obviously, you know, we scored. It was 2-2 in the last few games, but against this Fulham team at Old Trafford, I'm not confident we're really going to be, you know, flowing with the goals. I'm not confident that we're going to be scoring 3, 4, 5. I'm not sure when the last time we actually did that against the team under Jose Mourinho, but I don't think we're going to be doing that, to be honest. Ricky says CR7 didn't have any close friends at United. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. There's so many examples of players who, you know, probably weren't the player's favourite in the dressing room, but they got the job done, and that's all that mattered on the pitch, in my opinion. So there you go. Patrick says we need to play with Juve, Obertan, Cleverly, and we used to play with Juve, Obertan and Cleverly, McNair, and we still weren't this shit. Mystery. Exactly. I mean, to be fair, there's a bit of a common factor there, and that was Sir Alex Ferguson, and he was one of the best man managers in history. So potentially that was why. I mean, I still remember when we beat Arsenal with a team which had like Cleverly, had both the Fabio and Raphael in there. You know, these sort of awful players that we think are awful, but actually, you know, beat Arsenal on their day, which is fantastic. Thanks, Rashford, mate. Appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it. Yash says Welbeck will be released by Arsenal. Should we re-sign him? I don't think so. I don't think Welbeck would be a really good option for us. I think, you know, we tried him out once. I don't think he's the right sort of player we should be looking at, to be honest. I don't think he would be. I don't think Mourinho would want him either, so I don't think that deal's going to happen. Ricky says I'd rather Welbeck over the Lukaku. I mean, I don't know, maybe Lukaku's going to get back in form, who knows? I mean, he kind of contributed a bit against Arsenal, but yeah, who am I kidding? He didn't really do too much when he came on. We actually, you know, looked a bit slower going forward when Lukaku came on the pitch, which is not a good look, to be honest. But yeah, guys, I think it's a good time now in the show to give you my predicted 11 for Manchester United versus Fulham. So I'm going to give you my predicted 11 right now. Probably should move that down there. But there we go. So here is my predicted 11 for Manchester United versus Fulham. Now, I've stayed with the 4-3-3 formation, as you can see. David De Gea keeps his place in goal. Obviously, made that one mistake against on Wednesday night against Arsenal, although he is a fantastic goalkeeper. And, you know, the amount of times he's pulled our asses out of the fire, he's fine. He's absolutely fine to stay in there. I've put Delo at left back. Bailly, Smalling and Rojo make up the back four. So the same back four that we saw against Arsenal. You know, I love to see play. Then I feel like Mourinho is going to go with Matic, Pogba and Herrera. Now, the only one I'm not too sure about is Paul Pogba. I'm not sure if he's going to drop Pogba after his poor performances, or if he's going to start him and keep him in there for Fulham. Herrera alongside him with Nemanja Matic in there, of course. And then the front three, obviously it was pointed out that Martial wasn't spotted at the team dressing room and the team hotel, which isn't a good sign, so I'm not sure if Martial's going to play. But I put Martial on the right, Lukaku up front with Rashford on the left. Now, Martial and Rashford can swap whenever they want, but that is my predicted lineup. De Gea, Delo, Bailly, Smalling, Rojo, Matic, Pogba, Herrera, Martial, Lukaku and Rashford. So that is my predicted lineup, guys, for the game. Leave your thoughts on that in the live chat. So yeah, please do leave your thoughts on that. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Ricky says if you're 6'3", you could play up front, and he's just as useful as Lukaku. Well, I mean, I'm 6'5", 6'6" in real life. So, you know, I think Jose Mourinho would. I mean, get me in, sign me up, Jose, sign me up, mate. I'll tell you what. I mean, I'm not very good with my feet. I'm not very good at football in general. But I tell you what, whip balls into me. You never know. Rashford says they've got to respect the badge. Our badge has never been disrespectful. Well, yeah, when you play for Manchester United, it should be an absolute honour, without question. You hit the nail on the head. It should be an absolute honour. You have to, you know, you have to go for it. You have to go for it. And I do think there's some players who there are definitely some players in the team who in the past few games haven't been showing that heart. And whether it's because Mourinho's lost the players, I'm not too sure, but it is concerning. Yash gives his lineup: De Gea, Rojo, Jones, Smalling, Dalot, Shaw, Matic, Pogba, Fellaini, Lingard, Rashford, Lukaku. We need big players for Fellaini and Lukaku to start. Yeah, it's an interesting one there. Lingard obviously gets into your one as well. I think potentially Lingard could get in there. You know, he did start against Arsenal as well, so I could definitely see that. But Luke Shaw as well. I'm not too sure whether Luke Shaw's available. I'm not sure if he's injured or not. I'm not sure if he's still injured. So that's why I just haven't included him. But if I knew Luke Shaw was available, I'd put Dalot at right back and then put Luke Shaw at left back. Ricky says you'll probably have a better first touch than Lukaku. Yeah, I know, potentially. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, says sorry, Lingard will be dropped, I guess. No, I don't know, mate. Honestly, I have no idea, mate. I've got no idea. I mean, I reckon your prediction could be closer to mine. So don't be apologising, mate. Don't be apologising. Don't worry at all. Russell says Common United because the Arsenal fans were booing sack to Wenger. So why can't we boo to sack tomorrow? I mean, to be fair, I mean, I think, like, you know, you've got every right to voice your opinion. For me, I mean, obviously, look, I don't want to be kind of branded, oh yeah, you're a top red, all that sort of stuff. But personally, I wouldn't boo the manager. I probably wouldn't do that. But I mean, if you want to voice your opinion, booing and things like that definitely does get the message across. And I do kind of agree with it if the team's played badly, because they need to know. They need to know that they put in a unacceptable performance, and they need to know that. So I think booing's, yeah, I think booing's fine. I didn't even notice you had 12 in your lineup, by the way, Ash. I didn't even notice, mate. So that, don't worry about it. I did not notice whatsoever. But yeah, that is my predicted lineup for the game. Of course, if you are watching this as a YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Really want to hear what you guys have to say. And of course, as well, check out all the channels in the description down below. But look, you know, obviously, if we do win this game, there's a potential of us getting into 6th place. Obviously, I think Brighton and Bournemouth and Everton's results have to go our way, and I'm not sure if they are going to go our way, to be honest. But I mean, we need to win this game. We have to, surely. As the title says, no more draws. We cannot be drawing this game. And for me, I think if we lose this game, I'll be struggling to see Jose Mourinho turn this around, which would probably, in theory, make me Jose out. So if we don't win this game, there's a possibility of me becoming Jose out. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We have to win this game. We have to win this game. If we do not win this game, I have no faith that we can turn it around. And once that happens, that's it for me. I can't support the manager in that circumstance. So we have to win the game. We have to. Rashford goes with Romero, Bailly, Smalling, Dalot, Luke Shaw, Pogba, Matic, Herrera, Rashford, Lukaku and Martial. Putting in Romero in goalkeeper. That's an interesting one. To be honest, I wouldn't sub out David De Gea. I feel like he's going to keep his place. I think, you know, De Gea has done extremely well for us. Even after his mistake against Arsenal on Wednesday, he was still pulling out some absolute blinders. So I'd say fair play to De Gea on that front. Welcome, Roberto. Welcome to stream, mate. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it, as always. Yash says we'll mostly win this game 2-0. Hope so. Clean sheet at Old Trafford would be very, very nice indeed. And he also says, and Wednesday we'll lose to Valencia. Well, I mean, the good thing is it doesn't really matter if what the result is in Valencia, because of our last gasp winner. Because of our last gasp winner against Young Boys by the football god himself, Marouane Fellaini. I was ecstatic with that. And obviously that meant we did get through to the round of 16. And because I honestly, guys, I wouldn't have backed us getting a result against Valencia. I would not have backed us. To be honest, I would not have done. So I'm happy that we are through before we travel away to Valencia. Roberto said, just got back from the Juventus game, ecstatic. What was the result? I mean, I'm presuming Juventus won that one, but what was the result, Roberto? Let us know. Rasmus says, no, not about the mistake, but I can see Jose playing Grant or Romero. Fair enough, fair enough. Potentially, I mean, I feel like he's not going to do that, but I mean, you never know, you never know. Yash says Romero or Grant will play in Valencia. I agree with that. I think definitely Sergio Romero will play against Valencia, I'd say. 1-0 versus Inter. Actually, that's a very good result, so fair play to you. Fair play to you. And good that you enjoyed the game as well. But yeah, 1-0 against Inter Milan. They've got some decent players, so I think that's a decent result. Their warrior Marioni Mandzukic scored. Oh, I love that man. And Cancelo is insane, he said. Well, you know, Juventus have got some good players, and that's why they're tipped to be, you know, the winners of the Champions League this year. And, you know, with players like that, you know, they do seem to come in clutch, so I agree. Rasmus said, to be honest, Jose deserves more respect. Yeah, I feel like in some cases he does, especially from the media. I think the media disrespect him a lot and, you know, use him and, you know, twist his words and things like that. But you know what? That's what you get. That is definitely what you get for, you know, that's what you get, you know, when you're a very controversial manager. And I think he knows that himself. You know, he knows the way he conducts himself sometimes, you know, does lead the media to, you know, to report things and twist his words. I'm not saying that's what you should do because, you know, as an aspiring journalist myself, I would not want to twist the words of what someone said. I want to report the stories. Although, to be fair, you know, clickbait seems to be, you know, how people make their money these days. Patrick says, players potentially out of contract and are free in January: Toby Alderweireld, Gary Cahill, Fabregas, Giroud, Diego Godin, Company, Felipe Luis, Robin, Ramsey. I'll be happy to take one of them. Yeah, obviously, you know, Ramsey being talked about as a potential signing. Iron Robin as well. But the one that stands out to me there is Toby Alderweireld. Obviously, there was a saga in the transfer window that we were potentially wanting to sign Alderweireld, and I wouldn't be surprised if we did go to him. I would not be surprised, and I think he'd definitely shore up our defence. Although, to be fair, I think if we did bring in a centre-back, we would have to look at offloading a few, because it would mean that we'd have about 6 or 7 centre-backs in the first-team squad, and I think that's a bit too much. So I feel like we'd have to, you know, sell a few of them, at least. Yash says Ramsey will be goodbye. I think Ramsey has done very, very well for Arsenal. I'm not sure how well he'll do for United, but I think he's actually a bit of an underrated player, so he might be a good shout. Roberto goes with a 2-0 win for United tomorrow as Fulham are crap. Well, to be honest with you, Yash, I think, you know, last season I probably would agree with you, but I tell you what, you know, the way we're playing at Old Trafford this season, I would not be surprised if it's another draw, to be honest. Rashford says Icardi can cost us a lot of goals. Swap with Lukaku and Sanchez for Perisic, double swap. For me, that would be an absolutely dream transfer, mate. That would be a dream transfer. Icardi and Perisic in for Lukaku and Sanchez. I think that would be absolutely brilliant. I think, you know, I think you'd be a very, very fair trade as well. And Inter Milan would have some decent players on their hands. He also says, yeah, Robin is a beast. He might be a bit older for his years, but he plays football like a 21-year-old. I think, you know, he's still scoring brilliant goals and he can still cause defences problems. I'm not sure if we should be looking for a winger. I'm not sure really that's the position that we should be kind of going to strengthen at this moment in time. But I think Iron Robin, fair play to him. He's had a really, really good career. But for me, I wouldn't want him to come back to United at this moment in time. But guys, I'm going to go on now to my prediction, to my score prediction for the game. As Yash, just in time, mate, just in time. Here is my score prediction for the game. Obviously, you guys have already got yours in, and I'll be reading yours out as we go. So, my score prediction for the game is a 2-0 win to Manchester United. I actually do agree with Roberto. I feel that in this game, we have to win this game. We cannot draw this game. We cannot draw this game. If we draw this game, it will be definitely curtains for top 4. Definitely. So for me, I'm going to go with a 2-0 win to Manchester United. I think it'll be a pretty boring game, to be honest. I don't think it's going to be very high up on match of the day. But I think we are going to win 2-0. I mean, the Arsenal performance, there are bits of it which I really liked, and if we do start with a high intensity and we try and continue that throughout the game, then I think we'll be alright. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 win to Manchester United. I think Lukaku will get on the score sheet, and I think Marcus Rashford as well will get on the score sheet. I think Rashford, to be fair to him, has been one of those players who's been playing really, really well as of late. So I do think Rashford will bag himself a goal, and I also think Lukaku as well will get himself a goal, and hopefully he'll start to get on a bit of a run of form. So there's my prediction, 2-0 United, with Lukaku and Marcus Rashford getting the goals. Rashford goes with 4-1 to Manchester United. Ricky goes with a 3-0 win. Patrick goes with a 4-0. When was the last time we did that? Yeah, that would be brilliant, mate. That would be absolutely brilliant if we did get a 4-0 win. I would love it. I would love it. But I mean, I'm not too confident that's going to happen, but it'd be brilliant. It would be brilliant, Patrick. I totally agree. Ricky says the last time we won 4-0 was against Yeovil Town. Jeez, was it that long ago? Bloody hell. Yeovil Town, I swear that was like in one of the first rounds of the FA Cup. That must have been like in January. Jesus. That's ridiculous. Rashford says, everyone knows I'm a big Perisic fan, says Rashford. Yeah. I mean, I'm a big Perisic fan as well. I do think Perisic is a really, really good player. I thought he had a really, really good World Cup, and I thought in the summer, you know, that was the chance for us to get him, but it just didn't materialise. And I think he would have fit the system. I really do think he would have fit the system, but unfortunately that wasn't how it ended up. Ricky says, I remember Lukaku and Herrera scored. Oh yeah, of course. I think Rashford also scored in that game as well, and Lingard. I think it was Rashford, Lingard, Lukaku, and Herrera as well. Patrick says, what's a Yeovil Town? I know, mate, I know. Some team in League 2. You know, I mean, to be fair, in some of the games this season, we've been playing like a Yeovil Town, to be honest. But there you go. I think they're down in Devonshire somewhere. I don't know if that's even a county. The West Country, I think. West Country. Ricky says, yeah, it was Lingard, wasn't it? A solo goal. Yeah. I remember that now, yeah. It was actually a pretty decent goal, to be fair to him. And I think that was probably the last time we saw Angel Gomez on the pitch as well. I think. So that's good, yeah. Yeah. I mean, mate, I would love to see, you know, some youth players in this game. I know it's not going to happen, but I'd love to see some of the youth players being given a chance. You know, Mason Greenwood seems to be just in a league of his own in the youth team in the under-23s for Manchester United. So, you know, why not give him a call-up? Taith Chong, you know, these sort of players, you know, we may as well feel like they'll want to play for the badge more than some of the other players will. So, there you go. But I digress. Rashford says, it's a dream come true for me when Perisic answered United question, a fan of his since 2014. Patrick says, what's happening to Heath Chong? No idea, mate, to be honest. No idea what's happening to Heath Chong. I'm not too, you know, up to date on his situation. Not too up to date on the youth team, to be honest. But I don't know what's going on with Heath Chong, to be honest. But there you go. But I would love to see him in the team in future. I'd love to see him play because I do think he's got quality about him. And I think the only way he's going to improve is by proper, you know, experience in the Premier League. And we've seen what that's done for the likes of Lindelof. You know, Delot is only going to get better as well. And I think you need to give these players experience if you want them to develop. Rashford said Heath Chong is struggling. Is he struggling? I honestly have no idea, to be honest, guys. I've got no idea what's going on with Heath Chong at this moment in time. But guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I think it's a good time to wrap it up. I've given you my prediction, my lineup prediction, all that good stuff. Thank you to everyone who did tune in live. Really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone, as always. Go and check out all the channels in the description down below, as well as checking out Fan Vibe if you haven't already as well. Also, guys, we're 25 subscribers away from 500 subscribers. So, as I said, anything you guys can do to help would be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support. I really, really do appreciate it. So, thank you so much. And thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for sharing your opinions and getting your voice heard on the stream. Because without you guys, these streams would be nothing. Hopefully we get our first 3 points in the last 4 games, because we need to improve our form. We need to hit form. Let's do it against Fulham. Let's put in a good performance. Let's get the fans back on side. Come on, United. Thanks for watching, guys, as always. Leave a like. Leave your thoughts as well in the comment section down below. And also, go and check out my previous video by clicking the I in the top right-hand corner. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Please do leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I'll see you guys in the next one.